All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to I'll name this segment later. GTG spits that grease, so on and so forth. Title forever in the works. So, if the title hasn't given me away yet, we're going to be talking about, let's see here, DSP's criticisms of modern fighting games and retro fighting games might be on the chopping block. So, what am I talking about, for example? Well, for the last few weeks, DSP has had his rump roast handed to him by a bunch of notable names, to be honest with you, from Turtle Power, to Null, as well as a few others. Big ups to them. Not Null from the farm, just some guy named Null who was handing his ass in Super Turbo. And he's been getting beat up in multiple games too. Super Turbo, sorry, Third Strike. He's been kind of going through it when it comes to these retro fighting games, which, you know, begs the question, why won't he just go to Fightcade? You know what I'm saying? If you love these games so much and you're mad that you're jumping on these collections, and you can't find competition, just go to Fightcade. You're talking all this nonsense about emulation, all this bullshit, but you really have no problem with emulating. So what's the issue now? And then you're saying that it's because of emulation that's hurting the collections, which is causing people not to actually purchase them or having a short shelf life. But the reality is you're part of the problem, because DSP says that, oh, the collections are missing all these different features to make it more optimized so people wouldn't use Fightcade. Well, your dumbass keeps buying the collections. You're legitimately part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? You're buying slop, and so that gives them carte blanche to go ahead and keep producing more slop. You're literally the problem. But DSP is not exactly the sharpest knife in the drawer. Wouldn't even say he's a butter knife, you know what I'm saying? There's no edge to him. So in any case, we're going to go ahead and speak on that. And, as it pertains to him dropping the retro games, he's just getting his ass handed to him. You know what I'm saying? It's easy to go ahead and run around this bitch thinking you Superman, right? When the player base is so small that it only has noobs or scrubs. That's until you run into real killers. That's until you run into these guys who not only play and train on Fightcade, but they still have the console versions too, or they play through PC, because all those collections are on PC, and they're whipping guys' ass over there too. Whoever wants to smoke can get it. And DSP apparently is, you know, he did say he has weak lungs because his mother smoked a lot when he was a kid, so it shows. You know what I'm saying? He can't handle real competition, and that's what I've been trying to express to people, especially those few of you, because you guys are getting smaller and smaller by the day, that DSP is good at fighting games. No, he's not. He's really not. If you want to sit there and give him some type of Valorant or whatever bullshit from his early days, so be it. I don't even know if that even deserves any real credence, given how small the pool was for a dead game. Remember that. It was the game Super Turbo back in his day was dying and damn near dead at the time he got ran out of the FGC. So his little 4th place finish at EVO 2005 doesn't mean jack shit. You know what I'm saying? And then when Street Fighter 4 came in, he had an opportunity to actually become skilled, if he actually had any skill, become skilled at that game and show some, show something. And he didn't. He reduced himself to just being content, because that's all he was just content. And then if you go back and listen to some of those old matches and the rants from the pre-streams that accompany those things, he bitched and complained about how on the tournament scene, that he had no parts of, by the way, on the tournament scene, who's this guy? He wasn't an old school guy. He didn't come up. He wasn't around when I came up. And yet all of them guys went on to do something. And yet he was bitter as shit that Justin was still in the mix. Ricky Ortiz was still in the mix. IFC Yipes was still in the mix. Sanford Kelly was still in the mix. You know what I'm saying? All those guys that I've named, I can name more, were all relevant during the Street Fighter 4 days, or its life cycle. DSP was on the tournament scene, up until Super and whatnot. He may have been around for, what was that? The 2008, 2010 update, maybe, and whatnot. By Ultra, he had given up. He was completely up and out the box on that bullshit. And speaking of which, if he was so good at Street Fighter 4, he bought a collection. I'm pretty sure he did. He bought a collection that has Street Fighter 4 in it, because I have the same one on Steam too. So why isn't he playing that? There's still a bunch of people playing Street Fighter 4. Oh, I can tell you why. Because there's too many killers on that shit. Like it is literally a fucking crucible every time I go on there. And the consoles aren't any better. There's even more killers over there. If you're talking about the Street Fighter 4. It's Street Fighter 5 too, now I think about it. There's killers all through that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's legitimately trial by fire. So if you really wanted to learn how to play Street Fighter 4, that's the way to go about it. But that's why he don't ever talk about playing Street Fighter 4. Because he knows what's waiting for him. So it is what it is. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to DSP's excuses, because that's why we're really here. And have a good laugh, and then just keep plugging it along. Let's see, this should be it right here.
Listen, as much as I criticize certain games, right?
Yeah, this is him. Okay, first off and foremost, you guys know the routine. Big ups to Raw Phil. And let's see, I think I've got all of my pigs in order here. So we can go ahead and start getting some bacon going and whatnot. Just give you guys a little we'll say it's pig butt's gonna be used for the snort retort. Never mind. So we'll save that for that. And bacon's for the snort report. I'll figure out something. Let's just get let me work, okay? Let me get this all cut up. And without further ado, here we go.
Listen, as much as I criticize certain games, right, like Street Fighter, okay? Yeah, I criticize every Street Fighter, but at least between each Street Fighter, they try something different. You know, with Street Fighter 5, they had different V-triggers. Street Fighter 6 is Drive Rush. There's always a new thing they're implementing to try to innovate.
That you didn't try to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like Street Fighter 5, the neutral game was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Footsies was heavily emphasized in Street Fighter 5. Just the neutral game itself. And he didn't do anything to learn it. Which is weird, because if he has all the experience and if he's as good as some people try to say he is, why is his footsie game garbage? Why can he not judge distance? Why is his neutral game so bad? These are fundamentals, ladies and gentlemen. These are fundamentals. Something that DSP lacks.
I think we've covered pretty much everything that I wanted to talk about on the show, right? We talked about my day off. We talked about the...
I like how he folds his arms to prop up his pig titties. That shit's hilarious.
New edited video. We talked about... Oh, there's one other thing. There's one final topic. What's up, Clyde Cash? How you doing? I'll be honest. You know I'm an honest dude, and I don't sugarcoat.
Jesus Christ, that shit comes out of his mouth. I bet you that shit tastes like salt. Does that look like an honest person right there? Honest people don't look like that. They don't sound like that. Anybody has to tell you that they're honest, they're more than likely not. That's crazy.
Friday night, I was pretty disappointed. All right, and what I mean by that is we did Friday Night Fights, Retro Fighters. You guys voted that you wanted to see me play Street Fighter.
Got destroyed. Oh my God, completely and utterly got his back kicked in. God damn, son.
3 Third Strike, so that's the collection we booted. Keep in mind, I have like 4 collections that we can play at any given moment.
I think I can't remember, there's a few people who beat him in Third Strike, but that Abiki player really put the hurting on him and shit. Now, I can't remember if he was playing on his new like Steam pad or whatever, gamepad, and maybe that's what it doesn't matter. They were still whooping his ass. If DSP is as good as what you say, as he says he is, pad or arcade stick, it should make no difference. I mean, obviously he's going to favor one over the other, but if you're good, you're good. Skill carries over. Just saying. Skill carries over. Unless you're playing like on keyboard and mouse and then you're jumping from a controller for like first person shooters. That's a little different. I can honestly tell you that's a big difference. But womp womp.
And you guys said you wanted Third Strike. So I booted up Third Strike, and for the first hour, we tested old school fighters with the Steam controller.
And why do that anyway? Like, I don't understand what the point of that was. Like, why would you put so much pressure and emphasis on that fucking controller, given that game? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think, not to say that you couldn't use it for fighting games, but you probably shouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
And the second hour, I went to joystick. Okay? We played a lot of Third Strike. We played a little bit of Alpha 3. We played a little bit of Hyper Fighting, and we played some Super Turbo.
Didn't touch Marvel at all, which is unfortunate, but he had already had his ass basically beat 2 weeks straight on that shit, so obviously he didn't want no parts of that.
All right. I did good. The only person who even was really able to beat me was actually a cheater who was using a turbo controller.
Of course, they're always cheaters. He never gets beat legit. You know what I'm saying? Unless they're a well-known player whose dick he needs to suck. But other than that, they're always cheaters. He never gets beat legit. Ever. Ever.
To do things you're not supposed to be able to do competitively. That's why they're banned from competition. And also, they had a bad internet connection and abused it. So I just counterpicked them with Honda and beat them pretty convincingly and embarrassed them.
Actually, what happened was this is that Null player I was telling you about. He basically kicked DSP's fucking back end, like in and out multiple times. DSP was crying and complaining that he couldn't counterpick him because the guy wouldn't do the Honda mirror match. When they finally did, DSP turtled him and whatnot. Then DSP beat him in like another match, maybe 2, and then left. So DSP may have scraped like 4 wins compared to like the 10 wins that guy got on him. And DSP ran off and took his ball and went home and talked about how he was the superior fighter. Eat a dick. Ridiculous.
And then there was one other player who was pretty good at third
Absolutely
strike,
ridiculous.
and I couldn't beat them when I was on Steam controller, but then when I swapped to my joystick, I was able to beat them pretty easily because I could actually control my character properly. But overall, it was a good time. Like, it was a good variety of stuff. We played a good variety of games, different people. It was a good time. But man, let me tell you, I was shocked by the attendance, and I was shocked by the support. Usually Friday Night Fights is well attended. It actually wasn't. We didn't even have 200 viewers. And support, I think all night I made $70. At the very last minute, someone tipped $5.
You should be grateful. You should be grateful to get $70. What the hell? I don't know. I don't understand when $70 just became pittance and you could just look down upon it. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
And I didn't count it for the stream.
Oh, man.
But they said, hey, good games. And I think that it was actually someone who I had played, which I didn't realize. So I think by the end of the night, I made like $75. And I was like, wow, that's actually my worst stream in ages.
That's funny. How is that your worst stream in ages if you don't have a stream goal? How's that a thing? And by the way, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm recording this in May 21st. DSP is already revving up. Like you can already see how he's trying to lay down the groundwork, if you will, to bring goals back. You can already tell that's starting to become a thing again. You know what I'm saying? And because he just recently came out with some nonsense about, when I had goals, it was fine. It was perfectly fine. You guys didn't have a problem. You guys didn't think it was egregious. It was the internet, not his detractors, trolls, haters, and critics, not Moist Critical, not Asmon Gold, not Mudahar. It was the internet that said it was bad, so he got rid of it. He's already laying down the groundwork to bring that shit back. He's laying down the groundwork to bring that shit. I promise you, he's laying the groundwork down to bring that shit back. If I can find that clip, I'll insert it.
Let me put it this way. As relaxing it is to not have to worry about fundraising every stream anymore, because now I've been 6 months removed, if you're not aware. It's end of November of last year is when I stopped with that shit. So as relieving as it is to not have to sit here and act like I'm running a freaking marathon, a telethon, a fundraising project every stream. At the same time, some of that hype, I'll be honest, some of that hype used to be fun, right? You get excited, you get people, oh my God, he just contributed. We just hit the goal. It's exciting to do that. And, it's just sad because I thought during that time period when I was doing that we were all having a good time together, right? It wasn't super serious. It was fun. But, you get shitbags on the internet who are like, oh, you see, so all Phil does is he begs for money. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I thought it was fine. No, I wasn't getting a plethora of complaints. I was getting support, so why would I care, right? But the internet saw it differently, and so we retired the goals, alas. And so now we don't have money raining from the sky anymore. We don't have kingly celebrations of filling the coffers. It's gone. We phased it out for 6 months. All right, so it is what it is. What can you do? Ladies and gentlemen, no, we didn't. There's no goal. There's no goal. What am I talking about? Oh, look at this. Mega Rock and Rolla with a very nice $20 contribution here tonight. Thank you, Mega Rock and Rolla. They said, we need more base takes. Gaming is in the toilet nowadays, and you've been streaming games long enough to know the fact, unlike some of the shills who get free stuff and wined and dine to say every game is a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Hey, they just did a real-life Forza Horizon Festival in Japan, where they flew select handcrafted, hand-picked creators to get a week in Japan fully paid for, wined, dined, actually went and saw cars driving around and everything, and then they came home with their copies of Forza Horizon 6. Do you think they said the game sucks? Let's think hard about this one. I wonder if any of them said the game was bad. Thank you, Mega Rock Enrolla, for $20. I appreciate that very much.
Here, if I can find it, but he's already, like, you can already see it, like he's ready to bring that shit back. You know what I'm saying? Because drinking for free isn't doing shit. Him doing the DSP tries ain't worth nothing. I'd love to know how much he spends on DSP tries, like what the actual amount is. He's definitely paying well over what the market value is. He's probably paying double what the meal costs, if not triple. So there's that. shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a mess.
And I was shocked that they did that poorly, because people had been asking for me to play fighting games and play fighting games that I like and I'm good at, you know, stop the rage, but instead show off my skill. And that's exactly what I was doing. It didn't seem...
Not with all those losses that you had in there. That's not true. That's not true at all. I can't remember in the big up SnortBucks. In the SnortBucks video, he was in the 20s. He was in the double digits with L's. So what skill was that, champ?
To resonate. You know, when you have low attendance and support, that's bad. So I don't know.
I thought you were affluent though. I thought you don't need money and you're doing great. So how's $70 a problem on one stream? Just asking for a friend.
What happened? I don't know if it was just a one-off thing, because the week before had done really well. So I don't know if it's just a one-off bad night, or if people are telling me they just don't want old school fighting games, don't bother, in which case I guess we just don't do Friday Night Fights anymore.
All right, fine. So basically he's giving himself a reason to stop playing because he ain't got his ass kicked in fucking Super Turbo and fucking Marvel. Why did you only want to play Third Strike, Phil? Why couldn't we go off and play some other shit? You know what I'm saying? Why aren't you just doing a mixed bag of fighting games each and every Friday Night Fights? Why did you only want to hyper focus on one game or one type of game? He did play multiple games, I mean, but you know what I mean? Why is that? You don't feel so confident in Marvel no more, huh? Getting fucking PTSD from all those from all those years that he was a walking ATM and shit. God damn, son.
Right? Unless we come up with a new game that people care about. Like, I do know that later this year there's going to be that Avatar fighting game, and then
you're going to be bad at that because dudes are already pulling off like 100+ combos in that shit. So there's no point in you doing that. I don't even know if he played Invincible or not. If he did, I didn't care. And I know he's garbage at that. So I don't really know what else is really on the chopping block for you.
Later in the year, there's the Marvel Tokon game.
Oh, God, you're going to get fucking demolished in that shit. He was already bitching and complaining about that shit during the early betas and shit. That dudes were pulling off crazy-ass combos and shit, and he didn't like it. So I don't know why you're trying to sell people on that.
We could try both. But if neither of those stick or resonate, then I guess we just don't do fighting games until maybe Street Fighter 6 does something with an update that I care about. Like maybe next year or later this year, they do a new season pass with DLC characters I want to play.
I'm praying that there's going to be a Sean DLC. And I'm praying that he shows up, hopefully before it ends. Hopefully before the last season. Depending on, I mean, we assume that there's only like 5 or 6 seasons. But for all, I don't expect to see Street Fighter 7 anytime soon. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're going to be doing, you know, they don't do yearly releases like Call of Duty and shit, which they need to stop doing that shit too. The yearly release method is dead. So fucking NBA 2K needs to stop doing that shit too. Now I think about it. Anyway, if they theoretically could push Street Fighter 6 for another 2 or 3 years. So theoretically, there's no need to, you know what I'm saying? They could just keep doing seasons, which they probably should. But anyway, I'm hoping Sean shows up like soon in the next like season or 2. I hope he shows up soon. I'm doing that on behalf of a friend. Big ups to Goji Takes.
But outside of that, like, I'm not going back to Street Fighter 6 for Ingrid, one of the worst characters, joke characters ever in Street Fighter history that everyone detests. That's just a fucking slap in the face, and I'm not wasting time on that.
Everybody hates or detests is meaning just himself and all the voices in his head on some Gouty Orton shit.
So, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I'm very confused because, like I said, one week it did great and then the next week it did poorly. So
it's almost like people have priorities and shit. It's almost like, you know, people are people and they can't support you each and every fucking week, and you probably shouldn't. Not even probably shouldn't. You shouldn't. You shouldn't expect them to. If you're putting out good content, people will support it. To demand it week in, week out is kind of retarded. Just saying.
I don't know what I'm supposed to discern from that. Like, I want to do Friday Night Fights again this week.
I don't know. Give me that ass whooping. I don't think that's really true. But whatever.
But do I want to keep doing it and it's the slowest stream of the week historically? No, I don't. I don't want to have that happen, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to swallow failure, Phil. I'm sure that's the thing. In any case, there you go on that. The begging at the end is kind of crazy, I gotta tell you. I'll see if I can try to find that clip though for you. I'll see if I can try to find that clip. Cause I feel like this summer, bruh, it's gonna be a hot ass summer. It's gonna be a hot ass summer, and kick chat is in like full rebellion type shit, bro. Like, you're damn near getting on like the troll. It's Gouty Game of Thrones over there, for real. You know what I'm saying? It's for real. It's getting crazy out there and whatnot, and the King of the North hasn't actually appeared just yet, but the revolt is out there for real. So I don't know how the Snort Fort's gonna handle that shit, because the way he's panicking in the current day and age, he already needs his milk of the poppy or whatever. He already needs that shit for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? He needs something to numb him, because it's starting to get crazy out there. Fucking A. I'm pretty sure it's called milk of the poppy. I'm pretty sure. I'll look. Don't hold that against me. But don't hold that against me. But he definitely needs something to numb the pain. That's for sure. He needs something to numb the pain and quiet the voices in his head. In any case, thank you guys very much for listening in. This has been, I'll name this segment later, GTG Spits That Grease. Take care of yourselves, people. And remember, you know what I'm saying? A lol cow's a lol cow, a dent's a dent. Beat them and beat them often. They're not people and whatnot. Because there's no reason why a rational human being who actually values themselves would do this to themselves day in, day out. It just doesn't make any damn sense. You know what I mean? And for nothing. That's the crazy shit. For nothing. And actually, one more thing, I also think one of the takeaways, at least for me, is the fact that he's now kind of in limbo when you think about fighting games. There's not a new game that he can exploit people for, right? And there's not an old game that he can molest people on. He's just out there. He is literally the prey on both ends. And he has been for a long time. But he's literally the prey. And he can't do anything about it. He has nothing that he can latch onto currently and say, I'm good at this. This is where I can pull my confidence from. No one can beat me. I'm the best that I can be at this. He doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? And this is definitive. He doesn't have that. I think that hurts more than anything. All right, take care of yourselves, people. Catch you later. Oh, it's so funny.